Hey everyone, we're going to go through the short version for the new AR buyers buying list, okay? I already did a 40-minute version of this, and I realized that a lot of people don't need that level of detail. They maybe just want like a little reminder. So we're going to do that right now. So I have here a list to kind of help you out. All right, you can pause this and then take a screenshot if it helps you, okay? So first thing we gotta decide is what platform do we want. Do we want an AR9, AR15, or AR10? If we're looking to do a high volume of cheap, economical shooting, AR9 is the way to go now, right? Because the AR9 shoots 9mm. Right now, 9mm is half the price of 5.56, so it actually makes a lot of sense, okay? You know, for a lot of people, I'd rather you buy a gun that you're gonna shoot more, okay? I got an AR9 here that has close to 10,000 rounds on it, so the guns are very reliable. The ones I get are from Palmetto. They take they take Glock magazines, okay? So I've had a great deal of success with Palmetto, okay? So you're looking for economical shooting for a distance of, let's say, zero distance out to 150 yards. AR9 is a good option for you, okay? Now, AR15, okay, that's the more standard version, right? That shoots the 5.56, 223. That's more your standard version. Also, the ammunition right now is twice as expensive. Just to put it into perspective, the 9mm right now, 1,000 rounds is $250. 5.56, the cheapest 223 crap that you can buy, 1,000 rounds is $500. Okay, so and here's the thing: anytime you're buying, ideally you want to be buying 1,000 rounds. So for me, it's a question of, am I going to get 1,000 rounds of 5.56, or am I going to get 2,000 rounds of 9mm? Okay, that's how I kind of look at it. Okay, so the AR-15 is great if you're going to be shooting from zero distance all the way out to about 500 yards. Okay, it's pretty good for that. You might need a magnifier. We're going to talk about that, but that's your AR-15 shooting distance. Okay, now the AR-10. Okay, now we're getting into like sniper / designated marksman territory. AR-10 basically zero distance all the way out to 800 yards. Some people will push it out to 1,000 yards. Okay, so that's your AR-10. It's a much heavier rifle. There's also a lot more cost involved. And not just the cost of the gun, but if you're shooting at those kind of distances, your scope is going to be a lot more expensive. Your ammunition is going to be a lot more expensive. Different things that go. Your magazines are going to be a lot more expensive. So you're going to end up spending a lot more money for the AR-10. Okay, if you're buying an AR-10, you're buying it for a very specialized role, usually distance shooting or through punching through some pretty thick stuff. Okay, so right now I think the AR-9 is probably going to be the best choice for most of my first-time shooters. Which is not to say that down the road you can't come back and buy a 5.56 AR. In fact, I recommend that you do. But initially, buy the gun that you can shoot the most, and that's going to be the gun that is the cheapest to shoot. Now, one of the options with the AR-15 is to buy a 22 conversion bolt, in which case you're shooting 22s out of your 5.56. Okay, so the conversion bolt costs something like $200 with 3 magazines. That's also an option if you're getting an AR-15, which is a perfectly good option. So let's just keep that in mind. I've done plenty of videos on the CMMG 22 conversion bolt. I find that most new shooters, they want to feel some recoil, right? They want to feel some of that bang, bang, bang. So for most new shooters, I find that they enjoy shooting the 9mm ARs more than an AR-15 with a 22 conversion bolt. Okay, so once we decide which platform we're going to buy, the next thing we're going to talk about is how we're going to buy it. Okay, you can buy the gun as a whole, or you can buy it in parts. You can order it online, or you can buy it at the gun store. Buying it at the gun store is going to generally be more expensive. If you buy it online, okay, this is the way I recommend you buy it. Okay, these guns separate into a lower and an upper. Separate this. Okay, and they typically sell a complete lower separate from a complete upper. The way they do this is see, this is the part with the serial number. This is the part that basically has to go to an FFL and it has to get a background check. So this is the this is the part that gets taxed. Okay, this is the part because basically there is a firearms tax that manufacturers pay. So if they can sell you the gun, right, in parts, they pay less of a tax, right? Because this doesn't have a serial number on it, so this doesn't get taxed. So, and this tends to be the more expensive part. This is the cheaper part. So it's better to pay the tax from the manufacturer's point of view. It's better to pay the tax just on the cheaper part. Okay, so you're gonna go to. I recommend Palmetto. Okay, I've ordered lots of stuff from Palmetto. They're cheap. They ship. They're good. If you have a problem, they'll take care of it. Order just the lower. They're $150 to $200, and get this shipped to an FFL in your neighborhood. When you go to checkout, and you check out just like you would at Amazon or any of the other stuff that you buy. When you go to checkout, instead of it shipping to your house, it's going to ship to the FFL. Talk to the FFL first. Make sure that they're, let them know that it's coming, so that when they get it, they know that, they recognize the name. They know that there's something on the way in for you. So definitely talk to the FFL first. Get the lower shipped to the FFL. Everything else ships to your house as if you were ordering golf clubs. Okay, so get the lower. Recommend that you get a lower with Magpul parts. Right, get this stock. Don't get the cheapo stock because they suck. Get the Magpul grip. Get the Magpul stock. I like this triangle here that protects the button that adjusts this thing. So it does. So if I'm bagging this or something, I don't accidentally hit this. It's a lot cheaper to buy it on the gun than to try buy it afterwards. Because if you do that, they'll charge you, let's say, like $50 for the stock and then $30 for this grip over here. So it is usually cheaper to just buy this, get the lower with the Magpul part on it. Okay, so there's the lower. Okay, so this is $150 to $200. Okay, the next part you're gonna buy is the upper. Okay. Usually the thing that you're selecting is the length of the barrel and what type of a rail you want. Okay, so for length of the barrel, recommend you go with the 16 inches standard. In the past, I would recommend AR pistols, like shorter barrels. For women, with all the ATF stuff going on, I think it's just too much of a headache for like brand new buyers. So I just tell them, just get yourself a rifle lower, and get yourself a rifle upper. And just get it as light as possible. Get one that has all these cutouts here to lighten it up. If you notice over here, there's no rail in this section. I got rail here, Picatinny rail there, Picatinny rail there. Again, this lightens it up, right? So get this as light as possible with as many holes in it as possible with a 16-inch barrel. It's not going to have the scope on it the way you see it. It's just going to be a flat top, okay? So this is going to cost you anywhere from $300 to $350. By the way, I do have this extended ambidextrous charging handle. You don't need it unless you're putting a big scope on it, okay? So just get it with the standard charging handle. Do make sure that your upper comes with a bolt and a charging handle, right? And it'll say bolt and charging handle, bolt and CH included. You want the bolt and charging handle included. I don't want new gun buyers trying to mess around with trying to find the right bolt and the right charging handle. So again, the only reason we're buying this in two parts is because it is $150 to $200 cheaper because the manufacturer is not paying a firearms tax on it. Okay, so that's the reason why we're buying this in two separate parts. Now, if for whatever reason you're extremely uncomfortable buying guns online, and you shouldn't be, you can pretty much go to any gun shop and tell them what you want to order, and they will order it for you. Of course, they're going to mark it up a whole lot, because if they're involved, they need to make a profit. Okay. The way I do it is I just ship this to the gun shop. Right? I pay for this online, like I'm buying anything on Amazon. When I get to the gun shop, they'll charge me anywhere from $10 to $50 for the transfer. Okay. So there's different, you gotta shop around and see how much they charge. So they will charge you a transfer fee, or basically for doing the work of transferring it to you. Okay, so again, you want to talk to the FFL in advance. make sure that they're willing to accept it and find out what they're going to charge you for the transfer. Okay. So the next thing, you need an optic. Okay, and shooting is a seeing thing. The seeing part is the most important part of shooting. Okay, so I definitely recommend these Holosun 510Cs. I've got many of them. They've got these big windows and these circle dots over there. Where are you? There you go. See that big circle dot? So even if you're moving and shooting, you can see how you can track that. So this makes shooting a pleasure. Okay. Before I had optics on rifles, I found that women did not like shooting so much. So basically, I would get like a 50% retention rate. Once I put optics on gun, it went up to like 100%. Right, 100% of the women that came to me liked shooting. Okay, the optic makes all the difference. You will shoot more if you have an optic on your gun. You will shoot better. Even experienced people, right? Even the old fuds, right? The old timers that say they shoot better with iron sights. When I start running them through a course where they're moving and shooting, they too shoot better with optics. Okay. So you will need an optic. Recommend the Holosun 510C. There's lots of other choices out there. Definitely recommend that it has this big circle dot. Okay, you can use that for range estimating, and also it helps you find it, especially if you're moving around. You can see how that's a lot easier to see. So I'm just going to make it easy for my beginners and tell you guys to just get the 510C. I do have a riser in here, right? It's $10. It actually brings this up to the standard height of 2.75 over the bore. Okay, if you don't put the riser, it's only 2.5 inches. So the 2.75 is standard. So you're going to want to get that $10 riser. On other optics, like if you got like the tube ones, they're really low, so you have to get it. So just keep that in mind. If you don't get the one I'm telling you, and you get some other optic, make sure that find out if you need to get a riser for it or how high it's going to be. You want it to be about 2.75. That's the height overboard that you want. Okay. Again, this is a quick video, so I did the other video that has a lot more detail on this. I'll call that the long version. This is the short version, okay? Or as short as I can make it, okay? Next thing is you need magazines, okay? If you're getting the AR9, get at least 2 Glock magazines. If you get the palmettos, they'll take Glock magazines, which is great because it'll also go into your Glock pistols, into your Glock 17 and your Glock 19. Down the road, you can get lots of these cheap ETS ones. These are great for doing lots of exercises. These are $10 each. If I lose them in the woods, it's not a big deal. But get at least 2 Glock 17 mags, okay? For your AR9, if you're getting an AR-15, okay, you're gonna get either the P mag or the Lancers. I like the Lancers a lot better. I like the clear ones so I can see what's in there. Do not get the aluminum ones. The aluminum ones, if you drop them on the feed lips, they bend, and then the gun becomes unreliable, right? Prior to these type of magazines, people would complain about the reliability of AR-15s. It was never a problem with the gun. It was a problem with those old Vietnam era aluminum and steel magazines that would get bent. Once we got these P mags, AR-15s became really reliable. Okay, so get the Lancer ones or the P mags. Okay, so get your magazines and get your ammo, 1,000 rounds. Okay, so the question here is, are you going to get 2,000 rounds of 9mm, or are you going to get only 1,000 rounds of 5.56? Okay, so this is what 1,000 rounds of 9mm looks like. Okay, so it's nice, it's compact. Right now, I bought some I think 2 weeks ago. 1,000 rounds was $250. Okay, 1,000 rounds of 5.56 was $500. So those are the things that you need to get started. Okay, now if you can't afford all this, just get the lower, right? Because the lower is the only part that has to go through an FFL. Once you get the lower, this first part here, $150 to $200. Once you get the lower, if you can't afford to get the other stuff, that's fine. You can order it anytime you want from online, okay? And it'll ship to your house. But ideally, you want to get everything, so order the lower. And what I will typically do is you want this shipping to the FFL. Close that out, pay for it, with your credit card, and paying for it is the same as buying anything else. The only thing that changes here is it ships to the FFL instead of you, okay? And then close that out, and then you start a new cart, right? If you go to Palmetto's, finish that transaction, start a new transaction, and then start dropping things into your cart. Pick out a light upper, okay? And like I said, I like the ones. If you look at this upper here, you see how that has Picatinny rail going all the way across the top? Well, that adds weight. It's good for adding more things here, lots of crap on it. But I like these light ones, right? Because first of all, it's thinner to grab, okay? Women like shooting this. But I can also, these are M-locks here, so I can always add Picatinny rail like this over here, like this 3-slot. And I can add it where I need it, and I just, you know, rather than just have it here, you know, and then maybe I need it, maybe I don't, okay? So I recommend that you pick this type of a rail, 16-inch barrel. So that is going to cost you $300 to $350, okay? Get an optic. Again, I said the Holosun 510C, okay? That'll be about $300. Get the little riser for it, it's $10. Get at least 2 magazines, either Lancer or PMag. That'll be about $30. And let's say you get the 9mm. If you're getting the 9mm, the AR9, you're gonna pay $250 for 1,000 rounds. So you're in for 1,090, 1,100, let's say. Okay. So that's what you need to get started with an AR9 or an AR-15. Down the road, what you want to get is, okay, so once you get that, the next thing is you want to start trying to make the gun more usable for a self-defense type of situation, right? So you need a sling, right? The sling is basically a holster for the gun. You want to be able to go hands-free. So you want a fast loop sling. See how that's got a fast loop? I can basically open this up. I can come out of this. I can go to this side over here, right? Put this over like this. Okay, so you need a sling, okay? So you need a way to attach the sling to the rifle. See, I have the QD mounting point here, right, on the M-lock. And then on this side, I have a socket that I drilled in and installed. Okay, this was like $10, right? You see it's got that bolt there, okay? So that's how I installed the sling. So you want a fast loop sling, attach it at the 2 ends like that. Usually with the sling, I think I got it for something like $10. Let's say sometimes, you know, maybe it's $25, right? Maybe you don't get it as cheap as I got it. So fast loop sling, $25. QD socket on the stock, $10. M-lock on the rail, $10. The flip-up sights, okay, now these over here are the Magpul low-profile ones. These are $100 each. You don't need $100 flip-up sights, okay? You can get the Amazon $30 ones. They'll work just fine. Okay, the reason why these are here, right, instead of here and here, is because I put a light up here and I put the magnifier in the back. So I use this section over here for the flip-up sights, and it works just fine. I can use these flip-up sights here to get hits out to 100 yards. I prove it just by dimming down the reticle so I can't see the reticle, and I can practice just using those flip-up sights. So 100 yards, no problem with the flip-up sights in that spot. I've done a number of videos discussing that. And then the other thing that you're going to get is, I recommend you get at least 2 of these 3-slot rails. I got this one over here. It works as a great anchoring point. So basically, that's where I grab the rifle. This way I'm always grabbing it consistently in the same spot right there. Also, I can mount a bipod over here, right? So get at least 2 of these. They're cheap. They're like $5 or $10. And you know, it's good to have them. You'll figure out what to do with them and how to use them. Like I said, I use this as an anchoring point, as opposed to getting like a big, you know, a lot of times people will get like a big angled grip or some crap like that. This light 3-slot rail works just fine, okay? So, with those things, all right, okay, so the fast loop sling, $25, QD socket, on your stock, $10, M-lock, QD rail, $10. The flip-up sights, $30, right? Cheap Amazon ones work fine. 2 of those 3-slot rails, $20. So that's an extra $95, okay? And then lights, okay? Again, now this is like down the road. You're comfortable shooting with the gun, right? Now you're really, you know, ready to do some night shooting right now. For most people, they can't even find a place to shoot to practice at night. So we're getting pretty deep into it. But as far as lights, there's 2 options. They're both about $130. You can get a rifle light. They'll usually attach on the side here on one of these 3-slot rails that'll go on the side. A lot of times you put a pressure pad. I like using the pistol lights. The reason why I like using the pistol lights is it goes on top. It's very versatile. I can run this either as a lefty or as a righty. Okay, so it's very versatile like that, and it's easy on, easy off. I don't have to run pressure pads or wires or stuff like that. So I like that. And again, like in the daytime, I can just take this off. I don't take off the flip-up sights. That just lives there. I just take that off. And then for distance shooting, I put this magnifier back here. This is a Holosun 3X. With this, I can easily get out to 300 yards. And if I don't need it, this is a quick attach. It comes off real easy. All right, so that comes off really easy. Okay, this comes off really easy. The pistol light up here. All right, so now I got a much lighter gun. Okay, so and again, the flip-up sights stay there. All right, these are that's why I have the more expensive low-profile ones, so that they stay on there. It's like I pretty much ignore them until I actually need to use them. Okay, so let's go through this part first. So we said the Streamlight light right now is about $130. The magnifier 3X, $150. If you're going to be shooting at longer distances at 300, then get the Vortex 6X. That'll be like $300. Okay, and then you get yourself a parts kit, a lost and broken parts kit, especially one that has firing pins. Because firing pins break. They're usually $50 to $100. All right, so you definitely want to have some spare parts, particularly firing pins. So this section here is $380. Okay, so the total, right, that I have here is $1,565. Right, so about $1,500, $1,600. And if you're getting an AR-10, like I just ordered, everything is a lot more expensive. You know, the ammo's expensive, the magazines are expensive. The gun's only a little bit more expensive, right? You're gonna spend, you get an AR-15, you're gonna spend something like $500. If you get the AR-9, I think that's a little bit more expensive, so that comes out to $600. The AR-10 came out to something like $700, right? But the magazines, the ammunition, all the other stuff's more expensive. So the scope, right? Because with the AR-10, I'm going to be shooting 500 to like 800 yards. So I had to get like a more expensive scope, right? So instead of spending $300 on a scope, I spent $500 on a scope. So that came out to a $2,500 investment. Okay, so that's one of the things to keep in mind with the AR-10. If you get it, you will end up spending more money, definitely on the ammunition. Okay, so there's the buy list. All right, to help. This one is more of a reminder. I did a more detailed list for my, for brand new beginners that don't know anything about guns. So this one's more of this is the quick version. This is more of the reminder for people that are a little bit more familiar with ARs. Okay, so thanks for watching. If you're not a member, subscribe, drop some comments below, and I'll talk to you all soon.